Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Ballanti, DSO forecasting engineer, and one of the person behind the data crunching of the forecast. Before diving in some data and some numbers, just a word of caution. On the top left or right, depends how you see the slides, there is a word draft. That means that the number you will see in these slides, they come from our not yet published DFES 2024. It's going to be published soon. And just things might change a little or might not, but we are close to finalizing. Then the data are there at the moment, but might change slightly in the final version of the DFES. Okay, in these slides, we share 3 key points on what a day for our customer might be in 2040, according to our best view scenario. 3 key points: 1 every 2 of our customers in the Northwest might use a heat pump. And the energy consumption, electricity, might double by 2040. And nearly 9 out of 10 customers that nowadays are using combustion engine cars will use electric vehicles. If we extrapolate this figure to the entire Northwest, here are the numbers that we quantified. Now, beyond the individual numbers, what I want to focus on how the future will change in terms of low carbon technology adoption, especially in EV and heat pumps. We're expecting, with the best view scenario, to go from the currently 170K more or less EV we have in our area to 3 million, and for the heat pump from 25,000 to 1.2 million. Also, the DG capacity will almost double, and the battery storage will increase several folds. This, what you see in this slide, is the overall annual peak demand forecast in our region. Essentially, when we do the forecast, we take into account of every component, domestic, non-domestic, commercial, industrial, and everything is quantified. And this slide actually is a good summary of the overall demand that all these components will cause in our region. Now, on the x-axis, you see the time. On the y-axis, you see the percentage compared to nowadays level. Then it starts from 100%. In this blue box, you see the region in which we have high certainty or high confidence with our best view scenario that actually stay in the middle. And in the longer term, you can see how the different 6 scenarios evolve. Now, our confidence is that the future is going to look like something between the accelerated decarbonization and the best view, and this is the range in which we think the future might happen. Now, some high-level figures. We have a double in peak demand by 2050. And the main contributor to the increase in peak demand in the long term will be given by EV and heat pump. For EV, we take into account the AC ban, although some scenario might put the AC ban back to 2030, like accelerated decarbonization. And heat pump will be one of the main contributors to the peak demand in the long term. If we dive on the electrification part of this annual peak demand and we see how we expect the volume of EV to change in the future, here you can see 2 graphs. On the right side, when there is a little green car, it shows the uptake of light-duty vehicles in our best view scenario. Some high-level figures again, 3.5 million in 2050. That means that by 2050, we expect most of the current cars to be replaced with EV. We expect, compared to last year, a slower initial uptake because of the still ongoing energy crisis. And we expect, compared to last year, a stronger uptake of electric HEV. This is because, based on recent finding and research, it has been found that HEV might come to the network earlier than expected, with a rise sharp happening at around mid-30. Finally, if we check what's happening on the heat point of view, here again 2 graphs, domestic heat pump, non-domestic heat pump. But the key point here is that we can see that we have almost 3 groups of scenario, where the bottom 2 counterfactual, that means net zero, and hydrogen evolution, in which hydrogen might play a role in domestic heating to stay at the bottom, where the middle ones, in which in our assumption we assumed that the ban on gas boiler will happen around 2035. That's why you see here the steep rise. And here 2030. This is because at the end of the day, our scenarios have the objective to create like a range of potential future that might happen. That's why we try to see what's going to happen in 2035 or in 2030 to give an idea of the extreme, let's say.